What if I told you that a simple penny from 1984, 1986, or 1996 could be worth way more than just 1 cent? You might be holding a tiny fortune in your pocket. Let's uncover the secrets hiding in these coins. In the year 1984, amidst the steady rhythm of American industry and the subtle hum of minting machinery, an unassuming penny rolled off the press at the U.S. Mint, destined to circulate alongside millions of its identical counterparts. At that time, the United States was embracing change, a period of transition where technological innovations began to reshape production processes even in the age-old tradition of coinage. The 1984 penny, with its meticulously rendered image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the dignified outline of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, was crafted using techniques refined over decades. Yet, within this blend of art and industry, a fleeting misalignment during the coin's creation would soon set one specimen apart from the rest, quietly marking it with an anomaly that would captivate collectors and historians alike. Deep within the minting process, where precision was paramount and every detail was expected to conform to exact standards, a rare die error took shape. In a brief moment, a slight shift in the die caused a doubling effect that overlaid an almost ghostly impression on the Lincoln Memorial. This subtle duplication was not immediately apparent, it required a keen eye and careful study to appreciate the deviation from the norm. The doubled image created a faint but discernible shadow that softened certain features of the memorial, transforming the coin's appearance without diminishing its inherent dignity. Experts would later scrutinize the coin under magnification, debating the precise mechanics behind the misstrike, while its very existence underscored the unpredictable interplay between human effort and machine precision. One dedicated collector, whose passion for numismatics had grown over decades of meticulous study in the thrill of discovery, encountered this peculiar coin by chance. During an afternoon spent sifting through a carefully curated collection, the collector noticed an anomaly among a series of otherwise standard 1984 pennies. With practiced hands and a discerning eye, he observed that the familiar lines of Lincoln's portrait and the stately design of the memorial bore an unusual doubling, a soft echo that disrupted the expected symmetry. A surge of excitement mingled with a sense of cautious wonder as he realized that what he held was no ordinary piece of currency. In that quiet moment of realization, the coin transcended its mundane purpose and revealed a hidden narrative waiting to be unraveled. Compelled to understand the coin's mysterious past, the collector embarked on a journey of research and discovery. He pored over historical records, examined minting logs, and engaged in conversations with veteran numismatists and even retired mint workers. Each source contributed fragments to a larger picture: the high-pressure environment of the 1984 production line, the rapid pace of technological advancements, and the occasional human error that could slip through even the most stringent quality controls. The collector learned that, in the relentless push for efficiency, even the most routine processes were vulnerable to rare deviations. What had initially appeared as a minor flaw soon grew in significance, transforming into a marker of rarity that defied the ordinary and invited deeper inquiry into the hidden nuances of coin production. As word of the error began to circulate within the tight-knit community of coin enthusiasts, its impact on the coin's value became a subject of intense speculation. Initially, the 1984 penny with the doubled memorial was overlooked by many, its error so subtle that only the most dedicated observers could detect it. However, as more collectors verified its authenticity and recognized the craftsmanship behind the anomaly, demand began to increase. Auction houses reported instances where even a cursory glance at the error sparked bidding wars among seasoned collectors. Gradually, the coin's value shifted from a modest collectible to a coveted rarity, its worth buoyed by both its historical significance and the emotional connection that collectors forged with it. Fluctuations in market estimates added an element of suspense, as each new appraisal hinted at an escalating narrative of desirability and exclusivity, yet the full magnitude of its impact remained tantalizingly out of reach. A closer examination of the coin revealed that the error was far more than a simple misprint, it was a complex interplay of design and accident. The doubled effect on the Lincoln Memorial was not uniformly distributed across the surface. In some areas, the additional impression merged seamlessly with the original, while in others, the distinct outlines stood in stark contrast. This irregularity created a visual rhythm, a pattern of light and shadow that gave the coin an almost sculptural quality. Collectors marveled at how this singular mistake had inadvertently enhanced the aesthetic appeal of the penny, lending it an artistic value that transcended its function as legal tender. Every ridge and contour, every subtle duplication, invited closer inspection and thoughtful appreciation, transforming the coin into a canvas where the hand of fate had left an indelible mark. As the investigation deepened, an unexpected twist emerged that added layers of intrigue to the coin's history. In a candid conversation with a retired mint technician, the collector discovered whispers of an internal debate that had taken place on the very day the error occurred. According to the technician, production pressures and an unusually demanding schedule had forced some employees to improvise minor adjustments on the assembly line. In hushed tones, he recalled rumors of a deliberate alteration, an unspoken act of defiance or creative expression by a worker whose identity was never formally recorded. This possibility, though unverified, suggested that the error might have been less a mistake of fate and more a subtle intervention born out of personal frustration with the rigid production system. The idea that the coin might have carried a hidden signature, a quiet protest embedded within its design, infused its history with a dramatic irony that challenged conventional narratives of accidental error. This revelation sent ripples through the numismatic community, deepening the mystery surrounding the coin. The notion that an individual's discrete act of rebellion could inadvertently create a collectible of immense historical and artistic value sparked fervent debates and further inquiries. Was the error truly an unintentional mishap, or could it have been an almost imperceptible statement against the mechanized uniformity of mass production? The duality of its origin story resonated with collectors, who began to view the coin not merely as a monetary artifact but as a symbol of the unpredictable intersections between human creativity and industrial precision. Every new piece of evidence, every shared anecdote, added a fresh layer to its evolving narrative, blurring the line between accident and intention while igniting imaginations across the field. Over years of careful preservation and exchange, the 1984 penny error evolved from a rare minting anomaly into an emblem of mystery and resilience. Its shift from a fleeting misalignment on a production line to an object of admiration testified to the unpredictable nature of history. Every hand that passed the coin carried the echoes of a bygone era, a time marked by rapid change, innovation, and the blend of precision with imperfection. The interplay of chance and craftsmanship in this humble currency invited observers to ponder the balance between order and error, appreciating beauty born from the unexpected. In its modest form, the coin held a narrative of discovery, defiance, and a truly timeless, undeniable allure. The scent of aged paper and metal lingered in the dimly lit room, where stacks of coin albums rested like relics of forgotten history. A worn, calloused hand flipped through the pages methodically, eyes scanning for something, anything, that might stand out among the countless copper and zinc discs. The rhythmic rustling of plastic coin sleeves filled the silence until a single penny caught the collector's eye. A 1986 Lincoln cent. Nothing remarkable at first glance. The dull sheen of its copper-plated surface, the familiar gaze of the 16th president, the expected reverse bearing the Lincoln Memorial. And yet, something was off. A nagging sensation, a barely perceptible anomaly in the alignment. The collector leaned in closer, adjusting the magnifier over his eye. His heartbeat quickened. The words, United States of America, were subtly misaligned, a whisper of doubling on the reverse. The D mint mark, intended to signify Denver's production, bore an inexplicable, almost ghostly twin. The coin was flipped back and forth, light reflecting off its surface at varying angles. A misstrike. A machine hiccup in the relentless precision of the U.S. Mint. The mind reeled through possibilities. 1986 had not been a year infamous for errors, no grand misprints or dramatic tales tied to its minting. Yet, there it was. A potential anomaly in the hands of a seasoned collector who had spent decades deciphering the secrets of pocket change. The collector traced its journey. 1986, an era where vending machines hummed in shopping malls, cassette tapes tangled in Walkmans, and pennies passed through countless hands, unnoticed. The transition from solid copper to zinc-cored coins had already taken place in the early 80s, an economic shift that altered the very fabric of the humble 1-cent piece. Precision in minting was paramount, yet even the most controlled processes harbored imperfections. This particular coin, this overlooked sliver of history, had defied the meticulous order of production. Research ensued. Books, catalogs, obscure online forums, the collector combed through records of known errors. Doubling on the reverse was rare but not unheard of. Yet this specific variation, this precise combination of elements, it wasn't documented. Not in any official sense. A quiet but growing unease settled in. Had no one else stumbled upon this before? Was it an anomaly so minuscule that it had escaped notice for decades? Or was it something more, a hidden rarity waiting to be uncovered? Curiosity turned to obsession. Auctions were scrutinized, private collections examined. The world of numismatics, a realm of meticulous study and quiet anticipation, buzzed with whispers whenever a new error surfaced. Values fluctuated wildly with the tides of demand. A single misprint, a minor deviation, could transform a penny into a prize beyond its intended worth. Could this be one of those moments? Could a common cent, an object of daily exchange, possess a secret value waiting to be realized? It was time for the verdict. Experts were consulted, professionals with decades of experience and the weight of authority behind their assessments. Each one examined the penny, nodding with intrigue, their expressions shifting between curiosity and caution. This was no common misalignment. The doubling was distinct, deliberate in its error. A flaw in the die itself, replicated with each strike, spreading its uniqueness among a limited batch before correction swept it away. A discovery on the cusp of recognition, its significance hinging on verification. The whispers began. Quiet at first, then insistent. Collectors reached out, inquiries multiplied, offers surfaced. Some dismissed it as an aberration, a curiosity of little consequence. Others saw the potential, a piece of history hiding in plain sight. The market reacted with unpredictable fervor. Prices climbed, fell, climbed again. The unpredictability only heightened the suspense. What was once a simple penny, lost among millions, was now a variable in an unfolding narrative of worth and rarity. Then, the twist no one anticipated. A second penny emerged, then a third. Different locations, different collectors. The same telltale signs, the same spectral doubling. The realization settled like a held breath. This was no isolated anomaly. Somewhere within the vast machinery of the U.S. Mint, a defect had slipped through, unnoticed, replicating itself in unknown numbers. How many had been lost to time? How many still clinked inside forgotten jars, waiting to be found? Speculation ran rampant. Was it intentional? A brief lapse in quality control? A rogue die quietly removed before it could do more damage? The mystery deepened, but one thing was clear: this error, once an afterthought, had cemented itself in the annals of numismatic intrigue. Years passed, and the story evolved. Prices soared as the error gained notoriety, then settled into a steady rhythm of collector demand. The 1986 cent, once just another year in a long line of minted coins, now carried weight beyond its modest denomination. Not everyone bore the defect, but those that did, those rare, misplaced whispers of doubling, held a value far greater than their copper and zinc composition. And so, the search continued. A penny, so easily overlooked, now sent eyes scanning through changed jars and old collections. The thrill of discovery lingered, a reminder that even the smallest imperfections could hold a story waiting to be told. The press struck down with mechanical precision, stamping copper-plated zinc blanks into the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln. Another routine day at the U.S. Mint in 1996. Thousands of pennies rolled off the production line, indistinguishable from one another. And yet, amid the rhythmic clang of metal, something was amiss. It would take years before anyone noticed. Under the hum of fluorescent lighting in a dimly lit antique shop, a weathered collector turned a handful of loose change in his palm. The weight, the color, the sound, details imperceptible to the untrained eye, spoke to him like whispers from history. He had handled thousands of pennies before, searching for anomalies, rare dates, and overlooked treasures. But this time, something made him pause. He placed the 1996 penny under a magnifying glass, his breath catching in his throat. The letters along the rim, were they slightly doubled? He tilted the coin, his pulse quickening. The subtle, ghostly outline of a second strike, barely visible, hinted at a minting error. But this was different from the usual suspects. Not a simple doubled die. Not a straightforward misalignment. Something far rarer, something that shouldn't have happened at all. His mind raced. The 1996 Lincoln penny was minted in vast numbers, over 6 billion produced across Philadelphia and Denver. It was a modern coin, too recent for most collectors to even glance at. But minting errors were a different game. A flaw could turn an everyday coin into a hidden gem worth far more than a casual observer could imagine. He had to be sure. He hurried home, setting the penny beneath a high-powered microscope. The anomaly became clearer. This wasn't an ordinary misstrike. The coin bore signs of a dramatic off-center error, yet the date and mint mark remained fully visible, a rarity among such mistakes. Even more intriguing, a faint remnant of an entirely different design seemed to linger on its surface. A mule error? No, the alignment didn't suggest that. This was something stranger, more elusive. Days turned into weeks of research. Phone calls, emails, consultations with numismatic experts. Theories emerged and evolved. Could it be an experimental strike? A misfeed in the press that caused a layered impression? Whatever the case, the implications were enormous. The 1996 penny had never been documented with such an error before. If authenticated, it could become a numismatic sensation. Word spread. Collectors debated the anomaly. Some dismissed it as damage, a fluke of circulation. Others, captivated by the mystery, speculated on its origins. The uncertainty only fueled the intrigue. The collector, now caught in the whirlwind of speculation, sent the coin for grading. The waiting period was excruciating. When the verdict arrived, the world of numismatics held its breath. Not only was the error genuine, but it was classified as a unique variation, an undocumented striking mishap that defied known categories. Experts speculated it could be the result of a rare die clash or a misalignment during a transitional period. Whatever the cause, it was an authentic mint error, and it was the only one of its kind ever reported. Auction houses took notice. An ordinary 1996 penny, once worth a single cent, now carried a price tag that defied expectations. The first appraisal placed its value in the hundreds. Then, as word spread, the figure climbed into the thousands. The collector watched in astonishment as bidders, hungry for a piece of history, drove the price even higher. This wasn't just about metal and minting errors anymore. It had become a legend. Then came the twist no one saw coming. A second coin surfaced. Another 1996 penny, bearing an eerily similar error. It appeared in a private collection, unnoticed for years, its owner unaware of its significance until the first penny made headlines. The discovery appended the narrative. Was this truly a unique error, or was it part of a batch quietly released into circulation, waiting to be found? The numismatic world reeled at the possibility. If more existed, their value could shift dramatically. The hunt began anew. The original penny, now infamous, retained its status as the first discovered. It would forever be the coin that ignited the mystery. Yet, its value now hinged on what lay ahead. Was it an anomaly, or the beginning of a hidden series yet to be uncovered? No one could say for sure. And somewhere, in pockets, drawers, or jars of forgotten change, another 1996 penny might be waiting to tell its story.